When Angel Reese stepped onto that runway, it was supposed to be a moment of power, a bold declaration of confidence and control. After years of battling criticism, scrutiny, and accusations of being over-sexualized, she wanted to take back the narrative. This was her moment to flip the script, to show that she could be both fierce and feminine on her own terms. But what was meant to be a victory lap turned into one of the biggest public relations disasters of her career. The same athlete who once pleaded not to be sexualized was now trending worldwide for walking a lingerie runway. And the internet wasn't going to let that contradiction slide. At first, the reaction was confusion. Then came the outrage. Within hours, clips of Angel's Victoria's Secret appearance flooded TikTok, Instagram, and X. Every camera flash, every pose, every smirk was dissected and judged. People couldn't believe what they were seeing. "Isn't this the same woman who said she didn't want to be objectified?" One viral post read. Suddenly, Angel's walk wasn't just about fashion, it was about hypocrisy, credibility, and the crumbling of a carefully crafted image. Because in Angel's case, there was history, and that history mattered. Just a year earlier, she had stood before reporters, emotional and raw, saying she was tired of being sexualized. She spoke about the death threats, the hate, the judgment that came with simply being herself. It was a powerful moment that defined her image. Angel Reese, the fearless young woman standing up to double standards in sports. But now, that same speech was being spliced side by side with her Victoria's Secret catwalk. And the contrast was brutal. When the photos dropped, it wasn't basketball fans cheering. It was fashion photographers and influencers clapping in confusion. The same player who had built her identity on rejecting sexual objectification was now embracing it under studio lights and sponsorship banners. For a few seconds, it looked like confidence. For millions watching online, it looked like contradiction. And the internet, as it always does, pounced. One clip of her strut in pink silk racked up millions of views in hours. Comment sections turned savage. "Stop sexualizing me," one user mocked, posting it beside her runway photo. "Also her." That comment alone sparked thousands of replies. Others simply wrote, "Pick a lane." The criticism wasn't just coming from trolls. It came from her own fanbase, the same people who once defended her against unfair treatment. Many felt betrayed. "We supported her when she said she was tired of being objectified," one supporter wrote. "But now she's literally doing the thing she told us not to." It wasn't about the modeling itself. No one cared if Angel wanted to walk a runway or promote lingerie. The problem was the inconsistency. Sophie Cunningham and Liz Cambage had done similar photo shoots before, but neither ever played the victim card. They owned their image, never asked the world to stop sexualizing them, and certainly didn't contradict themselves in front of millions. Angel, on the other hand, had made being misunderstood her brand, and suddenly that brand was collapsing. Talk shows, podcasts, and sports commentators weighed in. Some defended her, saying women have the right to express themselves however they want. Others called it career suicide. "You can't preach empowerment one day and cash in on objectification the next," one analyst said. "It's not confidence, it's contradiction." Soon, the Victoria's Secret walk stopped being about fashion. It became a cultural debate about authenticity, attention, and the cost of inconsistency. And then things got worse. As the internet kept replaying her runway clips, an old controversy resurfaced. The Mabounds scandal, a viral TikTok trend that Angel was accused of stealing. The original creator claimed she had built the idea, the choreography, the branding, months before Angel began promoting it as her own. At first, it was a minor internet spat. But with Angel's credibility already crumbling, fans dug it back up, framing it as part of a pattern. Hypocrisy, self-promotion, and a refusal to take accountability. She never addressed it. Never credited the creator. Never even acknowledged the controversy. Instead, she leaned into it, posting more content, more clips, more Mabounds hashtags. What might have been overlooked months earlier now looked like another example of Angel using someone else's work to boost her image. And that image was falling apart faster than ever. By now, the memes had evolved from funny to cruel. Users edited her old press conference footage, the one where she begged people to stop sexualizing her, next to her Victoria's Secret walk, with a caption, "From empowerment to irony." The clip spread like wildfire. Supporters tried to defend her, saying the backlash was sexist, that male athletes were never judged this harshly. But those arguments were drowned out by screenshots, quotes, and receipts. Fans weren't just questioning her decisions. They were questioning her honesty. Because at its core, this wasn't a scandal about lingerie. It was a scandal about trust. For months, Angel had built her empire on empowerment. The unapologetic, confident woman standing up for herself in a league that often ignored its stars. But when her words and her actions collided, that empire started to crack. What was once seen as bravery now looked like performance. What was once celebrated as confidence now looked like desperation for relevance. And even her most loyal followers began to walk away. The comments on her latest posts said it all. "This isn't empowerment anymore," one fan wrote. "It's attention-seeking." Others said they were embarrassed to have defended her. Her Instagram likes dropped. Her comment sections filled with sarcasm. What used to be cheers had turned to exhaustion. Even inside the WNBA community, the shift was clear. Teammates who once hyped her up went silent. Reporters stopped asking about her. The league, hungry to market fresh faces like Caitlin Clark and Juju Watkins, quietly moved on. The spotlight that Angel once commanded now belonged to someone else. It wasn't because she lost her talent. She was still one of the most recognizable players in the league. It was because she lost her credibility. And in the modern era of sports, credibility means everything. As weeks passed, Angel tried to move forward, posting new photos, brand deals, motivational captions. But the damage was done. Every post was met with reminders of the past. "Stop sexualizing me," they'd quote. Also, Victoria's Secret. The internet doesn't forget. The applause had faded, replaced with silence. The kind of silence that speaks louder than hate. Because in today's world, indifference is the real cancellation. Angel Reese's downfall wasn't about one decision. It was about the slow unraveling of authenticity, the widening gap between who she said she was and what she showed the world. Fans can forgive mistakes, but not hypocrisy. And Angel's biggest mistake wasn't walking that runway. It was believing she could rewrite her message without consequences. What began as a message of empowerment had turned into a masterclass in contradiction. The same player who demanded not to be objectified had turned herself into a spectacle. The same voice that once spoke for young women now echoed with irony. Every headline, every post, every reaction made that truth clearer. Her story became a cautionary tale for every rising athlete chasing fame in the social media age. Confidence without consistency becomes contradiction, and contradiction destroys credibility. Angel's downfall wasn't written by her critics. It was written by her own choices. The runway that was supposed to celebrate her power instead exposed her truth. And now, that truth may follow her longer than the applause ever did. For Angel Reese, the challenge ahead isn't about silencing the critics or fighting back online. It's about rediscovering who she is beneath the fame, the filters, and the headlines. Because no endorsement, no viral moment, and no fashion show can rebuild credibility once it's gone. Only honesty can. Only humility can. The question now is, will Angel Reese face that truth, or keep running from it?